Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyson here at iDub Hockey, and I'm joined here with Evan Baker, product manager at Bauer, and we're actually at the Bauer headquarters in New Hampshire. And Evan's going to be giving us the rundown on the Bauer Supreme line. So Evan, we know the Supreme line's designed for that power player. It's going to be kind of still a little bit on the wider side as far as fit goes. Why don't you kind of give us some features that you guys have given to this line to achieve that?
Sure. So Supreme has been built on this idea of aniform fit. So the ability to actually mold the boot specifically to the player's foot, but in a more dramatic fashion than ever before. As you can see from the spine look on the skate, you can see how kind of pronounced that the actual bulges that are created for the ankle bone actually are in the skate. And it's part of the way that we actually can create structure in the support of the boot, but also bring that boot a lot closer to you. So you're going to get that, even though maybe it's a little bit more generous fit, you're going to get a more close fit. The power comes from the overall design of the quarter package. So on the elite level skate, on the Total 1 and the 1/100, we're going to use our live composite material. So it's a composite material that actually works in coordination with the compressed foam inside the quarter that's going to give you that incredible snap back. Now as you move down the line, it's actually the same style of shape. And that overall shape in some of the lower price points will actually help generate that same type of power. So for that player who has that long stride and really toes off, you're going to get that maximum amount of energy transfer because the overall shape that's been built into the boot. To help even bring that power to a new level, we have what we call the Reflex Tongue. So that Reflex Tongue is a very comfortable, soft-based tongue, but on the front side of it, we actually have this alive composite insert. Now this is actually something that the player can build into their skate. It actually comes with 3 different inserts. You can do a medium, a stiff, or an extra stiff, and you can actually change the stiffness of your tongue. And that's going to help to provide and add to that overall amount of power. Because of the power and the movement that's coming with the game, one of the things that we wanted to do is try and provide a little bit more comfort. So with more power comes more action, more movement. So we built in this idea of this total edge comfort. So all of the seams that normally might exist on a traditional hockey boot, we wanted to cover that over and make it a little bit softer. So you need comfort to go along with your power, right?
I have here the 1/100. What would you kind of say is the biggest differences comparing these two skates?
Yeah, so the biggest difference is going to be maybe some of the key customizable benefits. So the first thing that's going to change, the Total 1 has that Reflex Tongue, whereas your 1/100 is going to have a more traditional 48-ounce felt tongue, kind of more of an older school concept. But that's what a lot of guys, a lot of our pros still continue to use, and we know that retail consumers are actually paying to have newer tongues switched out into older tongues. So just wanted to give them what they were looking for. A little bit different liner. So your 1/100 is going to have more of a traditional leather feel liner. It's a hydrophobic liner, but it's different than the more fabric-based liner that we're using in the Total 1. Total 1 has fusion steel, so that combination of the two materials, whereas the 1/100 is going to have just a straight up stainless steel. And then one of the other things we're able to do is on the Total 1 we'll do the ventilation, so you actually be able to turn the skates over, let them drip out clean, or if you want to hang them this way, the sweat has some place to go. Whereas on the 1/100 it's going to be a straight carbon fiber outsole without the ventilation in it. So a couple of small things, but obviously for us the big technology really is in that Reflex Tongue and then in that fusion steel. So those are going to be the 2 major components that any consumer would notice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to note that for those players that want that boot, I mean, the boot construction, at least from my understanding, is pretty right on par with the Total 1.
Yep.
You just have a few of those more traditional features, so you can still get some of those great advancements, but keep the feel of a more traditional skate.
Yeah, absolutely. So for a consumer who was in a 190 and then transitioned to a 195 and was looking for that kind of evolution of that skate, that's where the 1/100 is. For us, the Total 1 is a whole new kind of stratosphere product. Kind of elevates our game a little bit. So for the value, you're still getting the same boot performance. You're just maybe you're not getting the tongue and you're not getting the steel. But those are all things, at least with the steel, you can upgrade if you like that idea of a lighter weight product.
So I mean, kind of to wrap it up, why don't you give us just some of the features that one can expect that we talked about on these skates, but also is going to drop down through the rest of the Supreme line?
Yeah, so I mean, even if you take into consideration a 170 skate, you can see that aniform style fit, that very molded boot that's going to help with that comfortable, E style, but still very close to your foot fit. Built for a power player, even from the traditional standpoint of, even on some of the lower price points, we do the big fat white felt tongue. You're still going to get that tuck light speed, but it's you can see just from the look and the overall geometry of the boot, they're built on the same theme. So you can get the same style of play. Depending on how often you play or how much you want to spend on a skate, you're still going to get that same supreme power performance.
Great. Well, thanks for giving us the rundown on the line.
Sure.
Once again, this is Evan here at Bauer, and my name is Tyson, and all these Supreme skates are available at inlineandIcewarehouse.com.